This is a Mutalith Vortex beast for my Thousand Suns army, which I affectionately call Chauncey. Chauncey is the biggest model I've ever painted, and it has taken me nearly 2 years to finally complete. I ordered this model and built it and have been playing with it since August 25th, 2021, and I only started painting it August 5th, 2022, in which I only put a small amount of the base coat on for the main body. It then would take almost another year until June 11th of this year, 2023, to actually do the face tentacles, and then actually didn't take me too long to do the rest of it. I say it didn't take me too long, it took me a lot of hours, there wasn't a massive gap in June between the first time and the last time of painting it. I actually did paint it. However, it isn't quite finished. There's something missing and I can't quite decide what I want to do with it. And rather than try and go through all these different ideas and try a bunch of different stuff and just get fixated and lost within this model, against my better judgment, I'm asking you, YouTube audience, to tell me what I should do. In this video, I'll go through Chauncey, the stuff I've done already, and what I think is missing or where I potentially could make improvements. I will then take the top 3 comments of this video by likes and do those to finally finish this model. Whatever those 3 comments are, after they're done, that's it. This model is complete, and I'll move on to something else. And before you think about being cheeky, because yes, this is the kind of thing I would do because I'm a bastard, no, I won't do anything completely ridiculous because I know what the internet is like as soon as they get any sort of voting power. I do have some veto power on this. So don't try and do something like put a huge racing stripe down him, strip him and start again, throw him off a building. I mean, you can make those comments and people can like them, I just won't do them. I'll probably find them funny, but I will take the first 3 more sensible options rather than just the top 3 just entirely because yes, the internet is very fun when it comes to this kind of thing. In order for you to tell me what the best things I should do with this model are, I should probably show you the model in more detail and go through where I think I could improve or where I think things might be missing, just to give you a bit of an idea of where I'm at. So let's break down Chauncey and all the things I did from this bit all the way to his tail. Starting off with the tentacly face thing. I assume it's his face, but it's kind of ambiguous. I'm quite happy with the gradient here, although I think it is missing a little bit of something. The color on the drool isn't quite as defined from the main base of the actual tentacle, which could be improved. I used a contrast paint, I can't remember exactly which one, but I basically put it on the base of the tentacles and then dragged it with contrast medium to have this nice gradient. And I think it has come out quite nicely. The bottoms of the tentacles, the actual, I guess, underside of them, also are the same color, so potentially that's one thing that I could change to make that more defined. I still like the overall color and the overall aesthetic of this, just potentially there could be more definition here. Moving down to the body, you've got basically Leviathan purple all over the main body with some dry brushing here to pick out some edges. Not 100% happy with this. Again, it's kind of a solid block of color, which could be broken up a bit more, but I did find it difficult to actually understand which parts were chitinous hide and which parts were underbelly. Kind of is a bit confusing. Even the official pictures have a bit all over the place, so that was a bit more difficult. The claws here as well are just kind of just black with not much extra shading or any extra highlights here, so again, that could be something that might be improved with a little bit more work on these areas. Additionally, these spikes, ribs, whatever they are, these are just skeleton horns, just have a bit of extra bone, but again, they come out a bit dark. Potentially, again, this is an area to improve that could break up that purple a bit better. Next, the bit I'm most happy with, I think, is this portal thing on his back. I like the colors and I think it is quite bright, although there are some darker bits in the recesses and on the edges which could be brightened up a little bit more, but overall, this is probably the bit I'm most happy with. The bit I'm not so happy with is these kind of grooves through his back that kind of should bleed some of that color. I don't think that's come out very well. Maybe that's the part which could break up the purple as well if I brighten that up somehow, but again, I don't know the technique here. This was all done in contrast paint, this area, this portal thing, and to be honest, I just kind of went a bit mental with it. Just honestly, while I think it was just wet, just yellows, oranges, reds, and then whilst it was a bit more dry, a little bit of black, which I dragged down into that red. It did come out very nicely, although it is a bit messy and kind of a little bit thick in places. The white kind of dry brush a little bit in the centers here does help it brighten up a little bit, if you see what I mean, but it is also one of those things where, because I just kind of went a bit crazy with it, I didn't really have any good technique, so there's nothing I can really, if I had to go back and fix it, it'd be very, very difficult because it would basically be having to just get into a mental zone with contrast paints again, just throw them on until something worked. And finally, we come back to the tail, which is interesting. So first of all, as most people know, including myself, although not at the time because I'm stupid, red and blue make purple. The initial thought with this tail was that the base of this tail was going to be red, like a magenta color that bled into the blue and then into this kind of flamey, again, color like the back at the edges at the tips. Except when I did it, obviously I put the red on, then the blue blended into the red and made purple. Weirdly, a very similar purple to the back, which probably is why this whole section looks kind of like one big block color. The tail ends here, I'm also not happy with, although I don't really know what to do with them. The issue is that I kind of did a bunch of stuff to it. The paint went on too thick, and then I had to kind of try and get it off. So I scratched some of it off, but that didn't really work either. So I had to rebase it and redo it. And it's kind of come out interestingly. Obviously, you can see kind of a lot of the chips in the paint here. So it's obviously not very clean. And there's no highlighting around this area at all. The actual blends look okay, but it is also kind of a bit messy, which maybe works to the strength of the model overall. Maybe there is something I can do here that will really pull this all together and actually make this fit really nicely into the model. And finally is the base. So the base is probably a free thing. I'm going to do the base. So as a bonus, if you have any ideas for bases, whatever the highest liked comment about the base will be an extra one. I'm not going to say that the top 3 comments have to include the base, because if I just leave the base alone, it's never going to be finished. So if you got any good ideas for the base, let me know. And yeah, that's it. That is Chauncey. That is the biggest model I've ever painted, and one of the models I'm most proud of, I think. It's one of those ones where as I painted it, I was kind of happy with it. When I just finished painting, I knew I wasn't too happy with it, but after leaving it for a little while, I'm again quite pleased with how it's come out, but I definitely can see places to improve. My issue is I don't want to spend a huge amount of time extra on this model. It's been stuck with me for weeks, and it's kind of one of those models where I can't move on to something else until I feel like I can finish this. So I just want like 3 big hitting changes that shouldn't take too long, or maybe just should take long. Maybe I should take the time to do it. I also do think it's quite interesting, this kind of painting by committee. It would be interesting to see what people come up with and what techniques that I may never have heard of, or ideas that I didn't even consider. And you could even, you know, this is leaving your mark, the internet's mark on this model. Not that that's really worth much, but you know, it's kind of cool, I guess. Anyway, once again, whatever the top 3 comments by likes are that aren't ridiculously stupid, I will go and implement on Chauncey and hopefully make him a lot better. I'll make a post either in the Discord or on the community page, or both, about the decisions or the choices that have been made within the next week or so. So until then, thank you very much for watching. That'll be it for this video. If you did enjoy this, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all the good YouTube stuff, and join the Discord as well. We've got a lot of chat going on about all manner of stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.